It is the Riot Podcast. Good Monday to you all. We've learned it was, Holy Monday?
As we're getting ready for Easter.
Yes, so Easter is coming up. There is some discussion of what not to do when Easter arrives.
What not to give.
I wonder if there's somebody out there that's already too late. We talk about how you're not supposed to buy Easter bunnies, like an actual real-life living bunny.
Yeah.
You shouldn't buy that as a gift for Easter. I wonder if somebody out there heard that and was like, crap.
Return it.
Yeah. But what they say is you're not supposed, one of the reasons it sucks is because if you decide after you getting the bunny that you don't want it anymore, a lot of people just set it free thinking, oh, it's a bunny, it'll be fine.
Well,
and then it won't because a dog or some kind of bird will attack it and eat it. So they don't usually survive very long in the wild.
Well, maybe we can talk about this on the show tomorrow because this does bring up a point of Eric always makes fun of me because I would always say, hey, I would get an Easter basket growing up that would have like a gift in it.
Yeah.
And so you got that and you got some candy. And he thinks you should never get a gift for Easter.
What?
He would just get candy, and that was it.
We should talk about that tomorrow.
And he always makes me feel terrible. Like I grew up privileged.
Yeah. I think we got to save it for tomorrow because I have a similar experience.
Yeah. So I think it'd be, again, we'll put that in the podcast for tomorrow, but I just want to talk to everybody to find out, like, did you get a gift in your Easter basket or was it just candy, which is a gift in itself, but, not like a big gift?
Yeah, when I think about, too, like when you think about letting like the Easter, letting the bunny go that you would get on Easter, like that was the big issue of actually buying a bunny for an Easter present. Then I thought about like even like a bunny obviously isn't going to last very long, like in the wild. I don't even think my dog would last. I don't think Jim would last longer than a day in the wild. I don't think he would.
He'd get hit by a car.
That's exactly what would happen. He would last probably 3 hours if I had to guess.
What do you think if you just set your dogs free, Nikki? What would happen?
Oh, I have camera footage of it. Remember?
What happened?
Where they walked by chasing the... Yeah, but that was for a short time.
Well, that's because they came
back. Like, what if you just
back?
kicked them out?
Yeah, do you think they would return? Jim would never return.
I think Zafira would stay. She would come and stand by the door eventually.
They would. But I think my dogs would have a good old time until they had to come home. But my dogs sleep in bed at night. Like, they can't sleep outside.
Privileged.
They're privileged dogs. They can't do that.
Yeah, I don't think Jim would make it very long. I also don't think he would return. I think he would be gone. I think his nose would just kind of get him going, and then he would just be lost.
Just get lost?
I'd live in like a place, too, that isn't very like dog friendly if he was to get set free. I mean, he would definitely get hit by a car very quickly, I think.
Oh, let's not think about that
I know, so
anymore.
that's why I get nervous whenever he gets out outside because the area in which I live in is not a place where if dogs get out, it tends to them very well.
Well, let's go into something nicer.
Yeah, so let's move on to something else, which is if you want to never work a full-time job again, you can pretty much work part-time in California forever. Because nobody wants to work 40 hours anymore.
No, 40 hours is a no-no, but this is a possible bill that might get passed for businesses that have over 500 employees, so obviously the larger ones. And they're talking about you would work up to 32 hours and no more, but if you did go to 40, you would be paid overtime for those hours.
Yeah, so what do you think about that?
What do I think about it? I don't know.
You didn't get to share your thoughts.
It's just interesting because, like, for so much of so many, like, young people's lives, they try to, like, go from working part-time. They're like, I just need a full-time job. And then now, like, people in California, if you want to work 32 hours, you can. But if you want to work overtime and work 40, where 40's, like, kind of been the set standard now for ever.
Yeah.
And so I feel like overtime shouldn't be considered more than 32 hours of work because if you can't make it through a 40-hour work week, then it doesn't seem like you're ready for a full-time job yet, which is okay. That's okay.
Businesses will push you so hard you have to get your work done within 32 hours.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're like, I don't have to work for those extra 8 hours. I mean, you still will feel that. It's not a bonus for you.
It depends on the job, though, because I think for a lot of people, you realize how much time you waste during the 40 hours.
Yeah.
How much work you could get done in a much shorter amount of time if you actually were forced to. But I don't know if everybody wants that pressure all the time.
I know, but if this story was telling us that you got paid for 40 hours, but you were only working 32, that'd be a completely different story.
Yeah.
Oh, way different story.
We'd be all for that.
Yeah, I'd be all for that. All of a sudden, I'd be like, heck yeah, let's get it going.
But that's not what they're saying.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Then also, another thing that really piqued my interest was when you guys were talking about the new DiGiorno breakfast pizzas.
It's not good.
See, but in my mind, though, I like the idea.
It sounds good.
Of like a breakfast pizza because my favorite meal is breakfast. One of my favorite foods is pizza, but I also think about like what are even the things that I would want on a breakfast pizza to make it work, and I couldn't really come to a conclusion on what exactly that would look like in pizza form.
What do you guys think about? I know Nikki's already gone ahead and tried it without including us.
I tried the Eggs Benedict one, and it was on a weekend, and you guys weren't there.
You could say
we never get invited over on weekends.
Bad. It'd
be weird if I'm inviting you guys over for brunch on Sunday.
Would it be weird?
I
thought we were friends. I thought we were friends.
Okay, you're right. It's my bad.
But what do you guys think about trying it on the show?
We could
get one of the different ones that Nikki hasn't already had. We could get the sausage gravy one and see how that turns out. How
about we do it on Friday for Good Friday?
I feel like that's appropriate somehow.
I feel like that's
I don't want to say anything like sacrilegious or anything, but sure.
No, I mean we don't have to make it like just a good Friday.
Yeah,
an extra Good Friday.
Yeah. All right, let's mark that down.
We'll see you, but you'll hear about these pizzas in the podcast today.
We've gone on too long.
That's what we do.
All right. Well, with that said, we'll catch you next time.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
If you've ever asked yourself, just how bad can it get? We've got your answer right here. Worst of the Riot, Radio U.
Happened after the show on Friday. We hopefully finally have an end to the entirety of the Will Smith saga.
When I saw this on the schedule, doesn't it feel like this was like at least the news of what his repercussions are was from like early last week or the week? Like it seems so long ago that I was like, why are we talking about this? This is old, but it was only on Friday.
A lot has happened since Friday, I guess.
It never goes away.
But for Will Smith, I think we will talk. This is it, and we'll put an end. We'll close the book on this. The Academy's Board of Governors for the Academy, the Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, they met. They put on the Oscars. They met on Friday. They decided on their punishment for Will Smith after his slapping incident with Chris Rock. And what it comes down to is they have banned him from the Oscars for 10 years. He's not going to be able to.
He can't vote.
He can't. Well, yes, right. But
he can't be there.
Right. So that was like his self-imposed thing is he's leaving the Academy, so he's not going to be able to vote. And now no longer will he be able to attend in person or virtually.
Well, that makes sense.
Any event for 10 years.
Hudson was wondering when because he won a Oscar.
Right.
Will Smith did, and he gets to keep it. But normally the person that wins that one gets to present the other Oscar the following year and present it to the next winner. And that seems like he's not going to.
Yeah, so they'll have to find someone to replace him when the best actress. Yeah, I think it should be Chris Rock, right?
Oh, gosh. Can you imagine if they did that?
I think that'd be great. I think that's only fitting, right?
They don't want to I don't think they want to draw attention to that.
I think they'd love, even though they don't want him there, I think they'd love to play it up because ratings, baby. They want to get somebody watching next year.
If the Oscars were cooler, then maybe they would. Yeah. But I'm sure they would not be allowed to.
So he's not going to be able to. But you know what, though? For 10 years for Will Smith, that feels like there's a good chance he wouldn't have had a chance to attend the Oscars for 10 years anyways.
No, I bet. No. I think he would have still been around.
You're banking on him making a worthy movie over the next 10 years. He's made one Oscar-worthy movie in, how old is he? Like 50-something now?
We're not taking apart his movie catalog, but you're correct.
Yeah.
They've been sliding a bit.
He's unlikely, I think, to be involved in that regard. And then, I mean, he doesn't have to be involved. You don't ever see the list of all the celebrities, all the actors and actresses that aren't at the Oscars, and it's probably obviously everybody can't go, so it's a pretty big list every year.
You do need invited.
They'll just survive without him.
He is not ineligible, though. Like, he can still win a future Academy Award. He just cannot get it, in person.
Right.
And they're not revoking his Oscar that he won that Sunday night.
I think that the odds of him making an Oscar-worthy movie just went down, too.
True, because maybe it'll take him 10 years to build back up again.
Maybe, in other words, between him not having a lot of favor in Hollywood as much as he used to after this and after he's made some box office bombs for years and years, but then also they're not just why would the Academy vote for him when they know he can't come and accept it anyway?
I don't know. Well, let's see. Pinky's up for a pinky swear. Is this it for Will Smith news?
I hope so.
Are we done?
I think we're done. I mean, it's been like 3 weeks, so I think we're good. And it feels like a lot longer.
We should not have to mention the slap again.
That's it.
We've done you a favor by selecting the best of the worst and compiling it all in one place. Riot Podcast Radio U.
How'd you like to wake up with some breakfast pizza in your mouth?
If you have not had, like, I guess you would have to go to a brunch place or a breakfast place, but like breakfast pizza is amazing.
I've never had a breakfast pizza.
Never? Because then they'll usually do like the sausage gravy on top.
Oh, I know. That sounds good.
Eggs and a fluffy crust. It's so good.
Until recently, I always thought breakfast pizza was an idea I had that nobody else
ever did.
had followed through on.
Or having just leftover pizza for breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a great choice. But, I guess in recent years, I've heard more and more that you can get it at like gas stations will have it and stuff, which doesn't that sound like a great idea?
The one
gas
down the road
station
does
breakfast
that.
pizza.
They have it.
Yep, that scares me a little bit.
And I think it was maybe Domino's. We're talking quite a while ago, but there's been a few major chains have kind of tested having breakfast pizza at different locations, but they weren't as fancy as these.
No, and it wouldn't make sense for an actual pizza restaurant to be open at breakfast time to make the breakfast pizza.
Well, I didn't think you were so close-minded, Hudson, because I think it makes perfect sense.
I don't think it makes financial sense.
Yes,
I don't think
does.
I mean, as good as a breakfast pizza would be, I don't think enough people are looking for it every single day.
Well, sometimes you have to start things, you know?
Yeah, I guess
you have to have a vision.
So this is more attainable, more accessible. This is what will finally get me to try a breakfast pizza. Something I've been dreaming about for years, and it is DiGiorno is sharing their own take on breakfast pizza. They now have 3 frozen breakfast pizzas that you can get. They're all with a croissant crust. So you have the option of cinnamon roll breakfast pizza, eggs Benedict pizza, or sausage and gravy pizza.
So I tried the eggs Benedict one.
I am just seeing these news stories today.
I had it.
So first of all, I'm hurt.
Well,
You found these.
I didn't bring it in.
And you didn't think, breakfast pizza, something that not only just something that sounds great for the show, also something Hudson's talked about on the show that he would love.
I apologize. Eric actually found it because I like eggs Benedict. That's one of my favorite breakfast
really?
things. And so he brought that home, so we had it. And I will tell you, it is not very good.
Well, what's the problem with it?
Well, just to tell you what I did, we had to add eggs.
What? What do you mean?
We made our own eggs to add to the top of the pizza.
It didn't have enough eggs?
It didn't have enough eggs.
What if your eggs ruined it?
No, I think it made it better. And if I had hollandaise sauce, I should have added it also on.
Well, it sounds like you should just make your own pizza then.
I know. I think I should. So I know it looks exciting and the pictures look really exciting, but it is just frozen pizza and it just wasn't very good.
Yeah, I'll tell you that Eggs Benedict wouldn't be probably the one that I would have chosen, although I'm looking at it, it looks kind of good. But
looks can be deceiving.
Sausage gravy sounds really great, although here's my problem with that.
Yeah.
Sausage and gravy, what do you put that on?
On a biscuit.
On a biscuit, not on a croissant. And I've had the DiGiorno croissant pizzas that are for dinner. And the croissant crust, surprisingly, it's actually just like...
It was pretty hard.
It doesn't actually add anything. In fact, it might take away. I think I might just prefer getting a regular pizza crust.
No, I think
the DiGiorno version anyways.
What you need to do sometimes is have your own toppings to make it better. Because it really did needed more sauce, it needed a better crust, and it needed more eggs.
Yeah.
So I think with the sausage and gravy one, what we're saying is try to make your own pizza.
Yeah, all in all, that's what I'm getting, is that it's not going to be... See, but that's the question, though. Obviously... I think any frozen pizza, it's probably not going to be as good as a pizza if you put your heart and soul into making a pizza and it took you 3 hours. But these are meant so that you can just pop them in 15, 20 minutes. You got a breakfast pizza. Is it good enough for that?
No, I don't think so.
Especially when you see the price is $9.29, and then it's like I might as well just go buy a real pizza.
Would Hudson and Nikki's celebrity couple nickname be Hucky or Nidson? It's a good thing they aren't together. The Riot, Radio U.
Well, Nikki, it seems that the 4-day work week may be coming to our own backyard.
Hey, Friday.
Yeah. And,
Are we getting like leading into the weekend or coming out of it?
it all depends on how you want to view it.
All right.
Or maybe what your employer decides. Or more likely, let me share the legal side of it, and then we'll see. Then we can analyze a little further how it might play out. So in California, a new bill has been introduced. They call it AB 2932. Quite catchy.
AB, see you later.
Yeah.
Because we're not coming into work.
That's right. Perfect. So the bill would move to make the definition of a work week 32 hours instead of 40 hours.
Yeah.
And so in that instance, that would mean that employers, once you got over the 32-hour-a-week threshold, they would then have to pay overtime.
Oh, so then they would probably likely not have you come in during that time.
Right. Either they're going to cut. Now, this would only affect companies with over 500 employees if it were passed in California, which there's no guarantee. I mean, a lot of things have to happen.
Sure.
But California may be the first state in the United States to actually try out the 32-hour work week on a larger scale, on a legal scale. And so we'll see how that plays out. I was thinking, this is the perfect time to do this, to try to, if you really think that the 32-hour work week is a good idea, the perfect time to try to make this push, because normally, if you were trying to switch things to the 32-hour work week and you're like, all right, after 32 hours, you got to pay overtime, then everybody would be like, well, they'll cut everybody's hours at 32, and then they won't be able to work the full 40 hours. They won't pay enough, blah, blah, blah. And so it'll actually be a bad thing.
Sure.
People will be working less, but they're making less money. But what do we have right now? We have a work shortage.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can stop having, you already have not enough people coming in. So you probably have people still work the 40 hours and you'll be paying them more. So it may not change, at least in the short term, if it was to be passed, which is, again, maybe a long shot, even though it's been introduced.
And it is still, companies with more than 500 employees.
Right.
So it just depends on where you work
and
at.
I'm going to guess that would mean, because this I do not know, but that doesn't mean that at McDonald's, even though that's a big company, that's each individual store.
Correct.
So you're talking about like big, the companies that are in office buildings that are, the tall buildings and stuff.
And they're keeping a full work day would still remain at 8 hours. So it doesn't change like what hours you would work per day, but it would require overtime pay for employees. So if you worked more than 4 full days a week, then you would get overtime, which would be a 10% increase in pay, or you would just be done.
Yeah,
and
right.
then you get more days off.
Yeah, I think
that's all you get.
I don't know. I would be, if this was to go through, I would be concerned because, I would love to work 32 hours a week instead of 40, but I'd still like to be paid for 40.
Yes,
So
I get what you're saying. I do
that's
understand.
what would concern me. But in this case, in the way that California has done it, and at this time frame where companies may just be forced to have to work people over the 32 hours still, just because they need to have people doing stuff.
So other employees and companies that have tested out a 4-day work week say it does lead to an increase in productivity and profits as of right now, but they're not like long-term studies, so they can't say over time if that decreases at all. But other employees have said that they are more stressed out by having a shorter work week because they feel like they're letting teammates down who are in perhaps longer hours, or it's just more stress to get everything done in a less amount of time.
Well, those employees need to take it easy.
I need to change that.
I think they sound like the type of people that are going to be stressed out either way.
True.
You're being told you don't have to come into work. Oh, I don't want to let my coworkers down. Shut up.
All right, so
let your coworkers down.
Hey, I don't want to hear that.
I do it all the time. It works out fine.
You actually just get used to it. It's okay.
That's right. Yes. Once your coworkers start expecting disappointment,
then you're fine.
Then they can't be disappointed anymore.
That's true.
Some talking, a little bit of yelling, and a whole lot of eating. The Riot, Radio U.
Did you get to watch any of the Masters over the weekend?
I watched the final hole on Sunday.
That was it?
Yay.
That's all I could make time for.
We need to be supportive, too. That's all we needed.
Yeah. I know who won. There you go.
Yeah.
So is the Masters, is it more than one day or was it just Sunday? Was it just yesterday?
It's a 4-day thing, right? I mean, some might even conclude Wednesday, but the tournament runs from Thursday through Sunday. But, if you're a fair weather fan like Isaiah, you watch at the end to see who wins.
Yeah.
And if
Does it just take that long to get through the course, or?
Yes. No, it's just like four rounds. They play 4 rounds. They play a round every single day. So
it's pretty repetitive. I will tell you, I don't normally watch golf. I flipped it on Saturday. I don't know. I flipped it on one of the days. And I was watching it on the ESPN Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I wound up, I don't really care that much, but I was just like, I just want to see, it's the Masters, a big deal. So I flipped it on, and I wound up watching it for such a long time, not because I cared, but it was on ESPN Plus. It's just constantly switching between the golfers. It never went to commercial. And it was just kind of like so calming. And then you're just kind of like, oh, he's still shooting. And then it's, oh, he's still I don't know. And just like nothing ever, you never get any end to anything.
So you just kept watching.
So I just kept watching for a while. It's just like, I don't care about who's Tony Finau. But you know what? He's dressed pretty sharply, looking pretty good.
He's a good golfer.
Yeah, it's a nice scene. So I don't know. I wound up getting hypnotized by it for a while. Couldn't tell you much about it, but
it was still good to watch.
I watched it for a while. Yeah, I was kind of embarrassed, actually.
Isaiah, how did Tiger Woods do?
Pretty rough. So over the weekend, he after the first day he put together his best performance, which makes sense because obviously as the days went on, his leg probably hurt more and more.
Yeah.
And so over the weekend, he played pretty rough. I think he was +6 on Saturday and Sunday, which is just not, really was not in contention.
You don't want to be
Thursday.
plus in golf, I've figured out.
No, not at all. And so he being +6 on Saturday and Sunday. On Thursday, he was still he would have been considered in the mix after Thursday, but then that was the only day where really he was even in consideration at all.
So who won?
It ended up being Scotty Scheffler, who's 25 years old. Looks like he's 45.
I saw him, yes.
That was my biggest
100%.
takeaway. Every single person, if you looked at Scotty when he was finishing the hole, I was looking up there, and I was with some of my family eating dinner, and they were like, oh, yeah, he's 25. There's no way me and that guy are the same age. He looks like he's 10 years older than me, by far easily.
Well, maybe golf is pretty rough.
Oh, yeah, it must be rough on the body.
We had the same conversation in my house, but I was remarking it, we were all remarking, wow, most of these guys are actually half decent looking. What's the deal with that? And then Scotty Scheffler is, so it's not golf. In fact, I think the general golfer is actually pretty good looking, but then there's Scotty Scheffler breaking the mold.
He doesn't look bad.
He's not ugly. He just looks older than he is.
He just looks old.
You just cannot, you can't believe he's 25 looking at that face.
Well, maybe he'll even out, so then when he's 35, he'll look 25.
That's right.
Maybe he'll go back down.
Well, he'll need to stay the same. He needs to stay the exact same for at least 15 years for it to finally add up.
Okay, I've seen other pictures now. He does look older than 25.
Yeah. And the golf attire sometimes, depending on, it can also make you look
with the hat on, a little extra.
He's got his goofy vest he was breaking out, so you can tell I watched for a while. I saw a lot of golfers out there.
But yeah, it was pretty impressive too because on Sunday, Scheffler he was in the lead for multiple days of the Masters, but on Sunday the gap really was closed by Rory McIlroy, who came in second place. He finished on Sunday -8. So he made it by a bunch of ground there because Scheffler only finished on Sunday -1. So he really closed the gap, but just wasn't enough to overtake Scotty as he finished. But he was the number 1 player in the world coming into the Masters. So he was one of those people who everyone knew was going to be kind of near the top, but no one really. Where he wasn't he was obviously the favorite since he was the number 1 player in the world. But at the same time, he's so young that at a course like the Masters, it's just it's a lot of times the veterans win there, so it's not always that's why people thought that Tiger had a really good shot, is because if the element or the weather wasn't really all that great, that he knew the course so well because he's played it so many times that he might be able to just sneak out a sneaky win or some good holes, but ends up struggling a bit.
Not to be.
This works out good because Scotty Scheffler looks as old as one of the veterans.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he's lying about his age.
25, so that works out great.
His first win ever, so it's good for him getting the green jacket on Sunday.
All right, I think that's enough golf for the rest of the year.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on Radio U.
How many TV shows, if you had to guess, are there?
Current new TV shows or just across streaming?
Total. How many shows you think? You flip on, you've got your Roku or your Chromecast or whatever in front of you. How many shows are at your fingertips?
I think there's way more than we think.
There definitely is.
I don't know how to put a number to that.
Here.
And are we talking movies or just TV shows?
Just TV shows. Gosh. This is not even including the movies.
Yeah, you're going to have to tell me. I don't know.
It is about 8 817,000.
No,
Yes.
that many?
And I'm getting that number correct.
You're doing that one correct.
I nailed that one.
At first, when you said 8, I was like, well, it's more than that.
800.
And then 800
shows.
That feels maybe about right, but there's so many. And again, this isn't like current news stuff. So this is just all streaming TV
This is
shows.
in total for you to choose from across streaming services, 817,000. 817,000. You have that many TV shows
And I
to
can't
choose
find
from.
anything to watch.
That's right.
That's
the old joke,
disappointing.
right? In the olden days, it was there's 200 channels, nothing to watch. Now we have 817,000 shows to choose from, and we still don't want to watch any of them.
Now, technically, we probably all don't each have access to that many because
No,
that's across
that's-
all streaming
Right,
platforms.
right.
But that is disappointing. It just shows you how much stuff, how much junk there is.
There is a lot, and it just keeps going up too. So this is from Nielsen. They do like TV ratings and just keep track of all kinds of different data on entertainment stuff. And so they put out their State of Play report that has all kinds of factoids and numbers based off of what people are watching. And so they found that, okay, so we have 817,000 shows right now that from their report in 2019, just over 2 years ago, because it was late 2019, they found that there was about 646,000 shows. So in the
it's a lot
last
more.
two and a half years, we'll say, we've come up with like another 100,000 TV shows almost.
Well, I think you
or
can
200,000
blame
TV shows.
a lot of around that time, even more streaming services broke apart and like made their own. So then they brought in their own catalogs of content. So like Paramount, all of its stuff, HBO Max, all of its stuff. And so then they just, decided to allow all their classic shows. So that adds even more.
Yeah. So out of the 817,000 shows, how many would you say you watch?
Me?
Yeah.
I kind of fluctuate. Like I'll go usually and watch a TV show compared to a movie, but I just don't watch hardly anything like I used to.
Yeah. So
So I'm probably at a very small percentage.
you think?
Of that
I mean,
amount.
I think we all are. That's a lot of TV shows. I think 816,000 of them are on Netflix, and we'll never want to click on them once.
Is this supposed to be like challenge accepted? Or are we supposed to try to run through these?
I'm going to watch every show ever.
They say as of February, 65% of people who use a streaming service subscribe to 2 to 4 different platforms. That's also a little low.
Yeah.
And 17% subscribe to even more. That's where we're in.
Subscribe to 2 to 4, but use up to 10, probably.
Yeah. And then 93% of those responding to the survey suggested that they do plan to make no changes or will actually probably increase their streaming service options.
Yeah, now that's a little sad. We should all these channels, all the shows you already have on whatever streaming service you already have, you shouldn't need to feel required, pressured to go out and get another streaming service. But man, then that one good show comes on and you got to go get it. And here's a sad one, Nikki. Look at this. They found that the average adult in the United States watches just under 5 hours of TV per day.
No.
How is that possible? That's
Well,
average, they say.
All right,
There
let's
has to be
not-
somebody watching 24 hours of TV that's bringing up the average for everybody, because there's no way. I feel like I watch a lot of TV, and we get off work pretty early compared to most people, so that leaves more time in our day. There's no way I'm watching 5 hours of TV.
I will say, though, that sometimes it can get away from you if you're just leaving something on, but that's a lot each day.
That's a lot.
Now, 5 hours of TikTok is just fine, but not of a TV show.
I mean, no judgment, I guess, if you are in the 5 hour or more group, but man, that feels like a ton.
Well, that means congratulations. You're on your way to hopefully getting through all of these TV shows.
And you're above average.
Perfect.
That's something.
Don't say we didn't warn you. This is the worst of the riot.
It's a new viral TikTok where we have a woman. She's in, I don't know if it's the emergency room. She's in a medical facility. And she is evidently, according to her, she's there because she has a cyst somewhere. And so what it shows is her camera pans over. It's her doctor that's treating her. And the doctor is looking up on YouTube how to treat her cysts.
I saw the TikTok.
You saw this one?
I did.
No, I wasn't explaining it to you. I figured you'd
just for
seen it.
everybody
But
else,
just for
yeah.
Isaiah or anybody else who
Any of us
hasn't
normal
seen
people.
it. Setting the stage.
Hey, Isaiah, just work harder, okay?
I know,
Can
right?
you
I
watch
should be
more?
spending more time on TikTok on the weekends. That's my fault.
I'm really disappointed.
So, how are you feeling? What if this was you? You're at the doctor's office. You see the doctor around the corner, kind of looking up how to treat whatever your ailment is, your cyst, Nikki, on.
Oh, I'm the one.
Yeah.
I know. I love how you added that in. Your sis, Nikki.
on YouTube. What do you do? How do you feel?
Well, I think it depends. I think it's great if a doctor could admit, well, maybe they want to learn more before proceeding with whatever they decide. And when you watch the TikTok, it doesn't show like they're technically looking up entirely how to treat it.
Right, from
It's
the
more-
beginning.
Yeah, like it's more like the doctor's just trying to look up what maybe is going on, and then who knows, maybe this was the first search result back at it. So I don't think it's a bad thing. It's probably just a
Yeah.
bit concerning to watch. Like I don't like to watch when you see a doctor try to figure something out concerning your case.
I guess just with any line of work, any time when you're the consumer, you're the customer.
Yeah.
You don't want to see behind the scenes a lot of the
you
time.
don't. Even though
because-
I'm sure that happens all the time.
Right. What do you think, Isaiah?
Because you think about like in any job line, like you're not really like forced to like know everything off the top of your head. I mean, obviously I've never YouTubed something at work because I'm great at my job, but for those people like that are doctors, maybe they can't remember everything. Or you think about like your accountant who's probably doing your taxes right now. He's probably using a calculator. Like
That's
that's such a
true.
big deal.
That's
like a
true.
mechanic who's fixing your car, maybe he's gonna look at a YouTube video. Why not one of your doctors getting ready? And how serious is this cyst? That's another thing, like the seriousness of how this is. Like it could be like maybe for him it's like a day-to-day thing that's not a big deal, and so he want to look at a YouTube video, get a little refresher on it, and then go in there, fix things up. But if he's doing like a brain surgery or something, that's a little bit of a different
Well,
thing.
first off, for you, it's a she, the doctor.
Oh, I apologize.
Wow.
All right, I apologize.
Look at those
for that.
assumptions
I
right
know
there.
you'd
I
think,
just wanted
right?
to tell you, I didn't think I'd be annoyed until you're like, he.
Hey, well, you know, it's just in my brain. You know, I'm a man. That's what I'm going to say. For ladies, I might say she. You know.
She's a doctor, thank you. But yeah, that was it. It was more of just peeking over, and you could see that the doctor was there just watching a video about
See, if it was me, I would just hop up from the bed. I would walk over, start watching over the doctor's shoulder. And I said, thanks for looking this up for me. I think I'll take it from here.
I can do it.
Yeah. Well, this is very informative.
Well, if
don't
not-
worry. You don't have to bill me. I'll be fine.
Just go back, behind the doctor and be like, what are we doing?
Yeah, right.
So what are we watching here?
I just hope that, you know how it is with fixing anything on YouTube. You start working on your water heater with the YouTube video you found, and then you find out partway through, if you do one thing wrong, it'll make your water heater explode, but you've already done that thing.
Yeah.
So everything's going to go wrong. I hope the doctor watched the video all the way through
To the end.
before he started treating her. That's the only thing.
Nurses and other doctors and professionals really talked a lot in the comment section of this viral video, saying that doctors do this all the time. It's just double checking, just getting more information. And they say that you really want a doctor who would kind of look through
Yes.
different
Last
cases
thing you
before
want
working on you.
is an arrogant doctor that thinks he doesn't need YouTube to do
He
it.
doesn't
He or
think-
she.
Come
Hey, I said
on!
arrogant.
Come on,
This is the
Hudson.
negative
Come
doctor.
on.
The negative
Come
doctor
on.
is a man and he's arrogant and he's not using YouTube. The positive doctor is this female who's looking things up on YouTube,
The
doing things the
audacity.
right way.
Oh my goodness.
She knows her
gracious.
limitations. She knows what she doesn't know, and that's a good thing to know. So she goes and looks it up on YouTube.
Don't think it's bad. Probably a little concerning when you're just there because you're not used to seeing that. But it was good that the doctor was checking things out.
Yeah, she's going to get the best care now, this woman, with her cyst.
We would say rate and review the podcast. But let's be honest, that would probably hurt more than hell. The Worst of the Riot podcast.
This is one of those things. I don't know how big of a deal it is to everybody. I guess Elon Musk is always a big deal in a way.
Well, I think everybody enjoys the conversation when he's involved.
Yeah.
Seems a bit more spirited.
Everybody has an opinion on him, too,
They
right?
do.
Not a lot of people are just indifferent on Elon Musk.
Well, everybody has an opinion about him. And so whenever he's doing something, they're, interested in that conversation.
So the news last week was Elon Musk at first was he had bought the largest stake of anybody in Twitter. What do you remember how much it was?
I think
it's not it's not as a controlling stake, not as if he owns more than 50%.
9.2 or like 9.8.
Yeah, that sounds right. Sure, 9 something, which is still more than anybody else had, any one individual. So there's that. And then, it says 9.2 right here. We just opened our eyes. And so then following that, he kind of tweeted out some stuff. It looked like he was going to get an edit button. And then it was like, was that because Elon Musk tweeted about it and now he owns part of the company? Or were they really working on that the whole time? And then I saw people rolling their eyes kind of about this, that what the Twitter CEO, I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name, I believe. She offered in a tweet Elon Musk a position on Twitter's board of directors. And it seemed like he was going to accept. So that was back on Tuesday. Then yesterday, he was supposed to kind of assume his position on the board.
To accept it.
And all of a sudden, he's not on the board anymore.
So he has...
Or never was on the board.
It makes it seem like he has just refused or said no to the request. But everybody from last week was like, I thought I was already done.
Right.
I thought you were already on the board.
Yeah, it seemed like that's what he wanted, too, is that he wanted to have some kind of in-charge position of Twitter. But here's my theory about it. I think, he really wants to kind of have a say in what Twitter does and whatever. Because he loves using Twitter so much. It's where he feeds his ego a bit. So he wants to be involved in making more features that maybe will get him praise or that he can use himself. But then once it came to the point of him joining the board, all of a sudden it became less of a fun thing that he has some money involved in that can help him out too. Now he has to work. Now it's like a work thing.
Oh, I doubt board members work the same.
Nah, but still, it makes it official. And once you make something official, it becomes a whole lot less fun. And so once he's officially involved in doing Twitter stuff and zooming into meetings and whatever, it doesn't feel as fun. And he's like, yeah, I can still have the same effect just by tweeting stuff. And so I'll just keep my stake. I'll keep tweeting, and it'll have the same effect, and I won't have to go to meetings.
No, I think that... On one hand, people either love Elon Musk, but on the other hand, in that hand being a lot of workers a part of Twitter, they don't like him.
Sure.
And so I feel like that would be annoying to go into, to always have some sort of battle. They're also saying that some controversy could be that when Elon Musk acquired the stock, he didn't promptly report his purchase in a certain way that might give him a fine from the SEC. And that doesn't mean anything to him. Like, he doesn't care. No. But there might be some controversy surrounding that.
You're always seeing stuff about Elon Musk and like the SEC, as in with the stocks, not the football and stuff.
It's not that.
You're always seeing stuff with that. And I just feel like a lot of the stuff he does, not that, I mean, like, I'm kind of the weird one. I don't have really a strong opinion on Elon Musk either way, but I do see all the stories that are like, oh, look at this thing he did. It's where, questionable trading and questionable, what does he do it? Like all this stuff. I'm just like, I bet you could say that about anybody who trades like stock on that level. They probably all have their little things that are technically, if you really investigate it, whatever, they're not following all of the rules to the letter or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know a lot about stocks anyway. So maybe I'll just shut up about it.
I think he has so much money that if he wakes up one day, is like, yeah, I'll just buy that. I think he moves forward and doesn't probably tell all of his financial advisors.
Right.
Or his people.
The people that do make sure he's supposed to be following stuff to the letter.
Dot the I's, cross the T's.
Yeah, right.
So I'm sure whatever he does is still fine, but it just might be a little messier than if you consulted with someone on your team beforehand.
There are two types of people in this world, and Hudson has a problem with both. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
It's time to take a look back at what happened over the weekend as far as people going to the theaters.
But just a reminder, Hudson, being Hudson, decided to finally watch the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie in honor of the second one coming out.
Sonic 2 came out over the weekend. This was my motivation I needed. I didn't want to be too far behind the times.
Sure.
So I watched Sonic 1 on Paramount Plus, and it was all right.
Yeah.
It was just fine. That's
not as bad as you thought maybe it could be.
Oh, yeah, it could have been worse. It has its moments where it annoys me, but I also like it was worth going through, and I'm glad to have Jim Carrey for the whole movie. Like his Dr. Robotnik is a lot of fun. I'm concerned. I can only assume that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 will happen one day. But if Jim Carrey is to be believed, this is the second one. This is his final movie.
No, he just says that.
It sounds like he doesn't. Maybe it's just, Jim Carrey's just a different guy. So, like, for an average actor, you'd be like, oh, maybe he's just trying to drive up his price, trying to negotiate or whatever. I don't think Jim Carrey. It was weird that he chose Sonic because he hadn't been doing movies like that for a while anyway. So It was a weird choice. And now he's saying it might be his last movie he ever does. So we'll see. What I'm just saying is, if they make a Sonic 3 and it doesn't involve Jim Carrey, I didn't see a lot of in Sonic 1 that tells me that I would want to watch a Sonic movie without Jim Carrey involved.
Well, not just him, but other actors, Hudson. I'd like to remind you that sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't care about them.
They like to talk. And they just say things. And it doesn't mean that they mean what they're saying.
Yeah, but it's Jim Carrey, though.
That's exactly
why. He kind of disappeared for a while anyways without announcing he's retiring.
I don't know. But I was curious over the whole weekend if anybody saw Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Because this was kind of the first of the, out of the year, because we just haven't had a ton of big release movies with this sort of style.
Yeah,
where they were trying to really hit, everybody, including like a whole family aspect.
Right.
So we were curious to see what numbers it could pull in. And I did not look.
Okay.
So I want to know how Sonic 2 did.
What would you guess?
Maybe 50 million.
50 million? And would you consider that good if it did hit 50 million?
Exceptionally good.
Oh, well, then get a load of this, Nikki. This is in the North American box office alone. $71 million.
That means they are going to do a third one.
I think they are probably going to do a third one either way.
That's so much money.
The Sonic movie has worked out well. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, $71 million in the U.S. That is not including, obviously, overseas, where it also appears to, it made $70 million overseas as well. So $141 million.
That's impressive.
In total over the weekend. That's good news for Sonic for sure. It looks like they spent, about like $90 million on it or something like that. So definitely a money-making venture.
Well, if anybody saw
Paramount
it,
Pictures.
I also want to look up its score to see
if
it's fell down or not.
I don't know what the reviews were, but I mean, it seems like people that went and saw it seemed to have it was well received.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other big release over the weekend,
the Michael Bay one,
the Michael Bay movie, Ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
That with Jake Gyllenhaal, that only wound up getting about $8 million. So it came in.
Oh, it can take itself to the hospital.
Yeah, that's right. It can almost afford a hospital bill. It came in even though it's the next big release, not in second, not in third, in fourth in the American box office. Now they say they spent about $40 million to make that one, not including all of the marketing and whatnot. And with its overseas total, it got to about 30-some million.
Close enough.
I don't know. I mean, if it made $8 million in its first weekend, it's probably going to have a big drop off in the second weekend compared.
Compared, yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be tough for that one to even make money. It's hard to believe a movie with a catchy name like Ambulance would have a tough time at the box office, but there you have it.
When compared to Sonic, I mean, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
The other note from the weekend was, did you see the Morbius stuff?
What is that?
So Morbius was number one the weekend before.
Right.
And usually the biggest concern is not just how well it does the first weekend, but how far does it fall?
Yeah.
So Morbius fell more than 70%.
Yeah,
and it went
that's bad.
to $10 million. I think it's the second worst falling down of all movies of all time.
Wow. No way.
I think it's pretty bad. They're extremely concerned because that's just a huge drop.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well for Morbius 2. That's for sure. But hey, if you saw Sonic 2, let us know what you thought of it and whether you think Jim Carrey will ever return to acting again, particularly in Sonic 3.
It sounds like these two need to do a little less TikToking and a little more tick listening. The Riot with Nikki and Hudson. Radio U.
On Sunday is Easter Sunday. So we're less than a week away. What does that make today?
The 11th?
Monday before the Sunday?
Yeah, every day, like Easter week, it's got like its own name.
Don't put us on the
No,
spot
we're not
like
doing
that.
this.
There's Good Friday. There's Maundy Thursday, right? Is that a thing?
Is it Metal Monday?
Is that this Thursday? I don't know. There's every day as a week. Day of the week has a name.
Yeah,
for
today's
Easter
just
weekend.
Monday. That's what it is.
It's there's something. I'm sure if you look it up, you'll find a name for it.
For the Holy Week?
Yeah. Oh, is that what? Yep. Holy Week for Easter, of course.
I will look. So, yeah, what are the days leading to Easter? I'll keep looking.
Okay, you
Yeah.
keep looking into that. For Easter, you guys ever get a bunny?
Chocolate bunny?
Yes.
Because I would totally get an Easter basket.
What about like a real bunny?
No, I don't
Never.
I don't think my mom would be up for a real bunny.
You don't think?
No.
I wouldn't be up for one either.
No,
Yeah,
that's what
they're
I'm thinking,
harder
right?
than I think we realize.
I'm not a bunny fan. Definitely not a bunny fan.
So take this as a lesson if you're a parent out there, not just us, but rabbit advocates, oddly enough, are warning people to not buy actual real life bunnies
For Easter?
their children for Easter.
You're not supposed to get or adopt or buy a pet for any holiday.
Why not?
Because it's emotional and you're giving it as a gift a lot of times to someone
yeah.
who is maybe not ready to receive what you've decided to get.
Okay.
So I guess if you're a parent, that's one thing. But sometimes, like your boyfriend or girlfriend will give you a dog at Christmas.
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
that
puppy.
doesn't feel right.
And a lot of times those pets after the holidays get returned.
Oh.
So they suggest you really should not. If you want to adopt or get a pet, you should really do it outside of the emotion with the holiday as a gift.
Or just let the person the person you want to receive the dog or
Decide.
whatever. Let them make that choice. But in this case, the bunny advocates are saying that rabbits actually should not be given, not real rabbits, as a gift.
Only chocolate.
And I want to say rabbits should never be. I guess I'm not advocating for rabbits. I'm saying rabbits don't make a good present anyways, or they don't make a good pet.
So none of us have
No,
ever had a bunny?
period.
Nobody wants a rabbit. If you want a rabbit, you want a rabbit for like the next month. You don't want a rabbit. It's like any other responsibility. It sounds really cool, and then you get one.
I don't even think
and then it's no
rabbits-
longer cool anymore.
I don't think rabbits sound cool to begin with.
For somebody it does. There's like a 7-year-old girl right now that's like,
Who wanted
I
a
want
bunny?
a bunny. Like, it's Easter, I want a bunny. And her mom's like, fine, we can get the bunny. And then you get the bunny, and then you're stuck with the bunny.
It's a mistake.
Eric had a bunny when he was little, but then I think he told me the bunny would play outside, and you'd have to watch.
What's that mean?
Well, like inside the fenced-in yard.
Okay.
But then I think like you have to watch for like birds to come down and
Yeah.
take them, or animals to come steal them. And I think he told me that the bunny went down a hole one day and never came back.
No!
So bunnies can be hard.
Oh wow! Well,
And they stink. They smell
They
so
do.
bad. And I can't say anything because my dog smells awful. But at the same time, I feel like I get a little bit more, I can't even say enjoyment, but I do kind of like him a little bit. But for a bunny, it'd be so much harder to really love that thing, I feel like. I can't do it. I can't do
Bunnies
it.
stink constantly.
Don't feel tempted for this weekend.
Yeah, they say a chocolate bunny or a stuffed bunny is much better. And then they say, of course, some of the reasons they give. Why, again, they say don't give a rabbit as a gift, but these are rabbit advocates, and all the stuff they list make it sound like even more reasons why you don't want to have a rabbit, period. Because they say if they are not spayed or neutered, they become aggressive. Oftentimes they will bite you. Spaying, if you have a female rabbit, costs more than $300.
No.
Yeah. So is it really worth all that money?
They just don't want you to give that gift to somebody.
Yeah,
Because they might
right.
not realize all the stuff.
What? Oh, thank you. You got me something I need to pay $300 to give a surgery on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, how thoughtful.
Well, maybe you should give an older bunny that's already taken care of.
Or, again, just a chocolate bunny.
That sounds
I think
perfect.
any child out there will be much more happy with that.
A Katie bunny, and they'll never even realize that there's a real bunny out there.
That's right.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.